coach there, Joe Golden's a really good friend of mine. I was an assistant coach at Tarleton State, a Division II school at the time, while Joe was a player at Abilene Christian, and they were in our conference. So I got to coach against him, and when he was a player for 4 years, and then, obviously he's been at ACU now for about 10 years, and I've been here at Sam for 11. When he first got to ACU, they were still Division II, so they've only been Division I for, I don't know, I guess about 6 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the job he's done there has been remarkable. We played him twice this year, beat him at our place probably by about 7 or 8, but a good game. I think, a normal Sam Houston and Abilene game where it was a dogfight and, both teams had a hard time trying to score. I think we, ended up in the mid-60s, but we missed, I think I remember that game, we missed a lot of free throws. They fouled us at the end, and we missed a bunch of free throws, or we would have probably, won by about 10 or 12 and scored in the 70s. And then we went there. It was a big game late in the year, February 26th or 7th, I believe, at their place.
Okay.
Tough place to play this year because they're remodeling their facility and they're playing in an auxiliary gym, and they basically dropped some lights in and brought 2 goals in, brought a couple of stands in on the side, and the place was nuts that night.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we played well that night at times and led most of the first half. They made a little bit of a run at the end of the first half and were up at halftime by 2 or 3. And then the second half was a pretty close game. And then about a minute left, we were down 3, and they banked a 3-pointer in to go up 6. And we kind of fell apart. They made a couple of threes at the end, ended up winning by 10 or 12.
Sure.
They are a lot like a Texas Tech type team, which I just got through watching play today. And, they're going to play really, really hard, no matter what, up, down. I think the thing that makes their team really special this year is that they're very experienced. They've got a lot of guys back. And so you can just see that everybody is always on the same page, especially on the defensive end. Their rotations are amazing. I know you watched the game last night, but Texas just couldn't get any open shots or any open looks.
They're right there closing out.
Just always right there, and they do a really good job with that. Their game plan will be they do a great job, so they'll be ready for UCLA and what UCLA does. I thought the biggest thing playing them this year was they didn't shoot the ball great from the 3-point line, and as you saw last night, they only made 3, and yet they still found a way to win. When we beat them at our place, they made 3, and when we went there, they made 9. And so, to me, I didn't think they could beat us, but I thought if they made 3s, they could. And so, I think going forward, I don't know if they can beat UCLA tomorrow night without making 3s. Okay. I know they did last night, but, they turned Texas over 23 times. I think UCLA will be ready for that pressure.
Who would you say? I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, who would you say is their top guy, their go-to guy?
I think that's the other great thing about them. When all conference teams came out, they had their big 7-footer made first team all conference. But after that, they just got a really good team, and they play so well together. They run a lot of motion, high-low motion. They really try to get the ball inside. Mason is a really good wing for them that can he can go get a basket when they need to. And then they've got a power forward, Pleasant, who made the big free throws last night. And, he's a mismatch guy. The thing that makes him special is defensively, he can really switch at the 4 and move his feet. So, even though he's 6'8", 240, he can really get down and guard. And that's what makes him hard to play against defensively, because he'll guard a bigger guy, but yet he can switch on to point guards.
Absolutely.
And so that makes them tough. The big thing though is they run a million sets.
Yep.
They're hard to prepare for because they run a lot of stuff. And you know how it is when you've had a team together for 4 years like that. They know
it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork,
So they know the sets, but they also know all the wrinkles to the sets. So
Absolutely.
Like, for example, if you take away A or B, they got a C or a D or an E that they
call them audibles. Back. Call them audibles, Coach. Call them audibles. Audibles to the root. Audibles to the root, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach, for that breakdown. The Bruins will have their hands full tomorrow. Coach, I wish you the best of luck with your program. Would love to catch up with you sometime down the line. Absolutely. Maybe do this again when the time is fitting. So thank you so much for joining KJ Live, Coach Jason Hooten from Sam Houston State University. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you.